Trying to impress me, pulling out all the stops, making my head dizzy when you tell me what you want. I just wanted you to see me, never thought you'd notice, thought that you should know.
How's it going, everyone? My name is RJ, and this is probably not a normal tech video. I mean, how many times have you guys seen a dedicated display review featuring a flagship device? But I felt like this video was necessary, and I thought that it would be really helpful if you are in the market for a OnePlus 9 Pro and you are concerned about any display issues. We all know that the OnePlus 8 Pro had a plethora of display issues that bombarded the device and scared a lot of consumers away from purchasing it. What's really interesting is that the OnePlus 7 Pro didn't have any of these display issues. So it was really bizarre to me that the OnePlus 8 Pro had a ton of display issues. So talk about display regression. Every single time I upload a video on the OnePlus 8 Pro, my comment section is flooded with questions about the display. Personally, I've had the 8 Pro for over 8 months now, and to the naked eye test, I haven't noticed any green tint, black crush, or black bar issues. I know it sounds crazy, but I know some people out there that have already made their 8 Pro over 4 times because they're still dealing with display issues. So as a tech YouTuber, even though I'm not experiencing any of these issues, I still have to acknowledge the fact that the 8 Pro does have display issues, and obviously thousands of people cannot be lying. Before we continue, I want to let you guys know that this month is dedicated towards a ton of OnePlus 9 Pro content. I did recently just drop my first impressions video on the 9 Pro, which will be linked in the description below, so if you guys are interested, go and check that out. But nonetheless, if you guys want to stay updated on OnePlus content, make sure to drop a like on this video, and of course subscribe to the channel for a lot more. So in this video, I'm specifically going to be talking about the display on the OnePlus 9 Pro. We'll go through a few display tests, and then I will compare it alongside the OnePlus 8 Pro to give you guys a better visual understanding on how much the display has improved on the OnePlus 9 Pro this year. So both the OnePlus 9 Pro and the OnePlus 8 Pro have 120Hz panels on the front. The major difference this year is that the OnePlus 9 Pro utilizes LTPO technology. This allows the screen to fluctuate between 1Hz and 120Hz depending on what's happening on the display. So if you're gaming or just scrolling through Twitter, the phone will utilize that 120Hz refresh rate. But if you are just watching a YouTube video, the adaptive refresh rate will trickle down. But so far, I've been getting the same screen on time as I've been getting on my OnePlus 8 Pro, which is around 6 hours give or take. Also, I haven't seen many reviewers mention this, but the OnePlus 9 Pro is flexing a technology called Hyper Touch. This is supposed to support up to 6 times faster syncing speed between the display and the processor for improved touch response. So essentially, this lowers the touch latency in games by 25 to 30 milliseconds, which is critical for fast switch games like Fortnite and PUBG. To be honest, I haven't noticed much latency improvement between the two phones, but there might be a subtle difference that I'm not just picking up. There is a tiny difference in screen sizing. The 8 Pro has a 6.8-inch screen with a 19:8:9 aspect ratio, and the 9 Pro is rocking a 6.7-inch screen with a 20:9 aspect ratio. For anybody out there wondering, the 9 Pro has a 91.8 screen to body ratio, so 1% more than the 8 Pro, so not an earth-shattering difference. But I just thought I'd let you guys know. Both the displays without any display issues are fantastic. They both have vibrant colors, great color accuracy, and super smooth animations. The 8 Pro is rocking an AMOLED panel with a 3168 by 1440 resolution for a PPI of 513. Meanwhile, the 9 Pro has what OnePlus is calling Fluid Display 2.0. That features a Quad HD Plus resolution of 3216 by 1440 for a PPI 525. So a negligible difference when it comes to screen resolution and sharpness. What's interesting is both of these phones have displays that emit the same levels of brightness at 1300 nits. But I find the display on the 9 Pro to be much better in bright sunny conditions. The 9 Pro also has dual ambient sensors, which is much better at automatically adjusting the brightness depending on my environment. With the 8 Pro, I had to turn off automatic brightness. It was just all over the place. Sometimes it would be too dim, and other times it would be way too bright, and it just strained my eyes. Eventually, it got to a point where I just had to turn it off altogether and not look back. The 9 Pro has a nice added touch to it when you slide up and down on the brightness. You feel a nice subtle vibration all throughout when you are adjusting the brightness from low to high. This is just a nice Oxygen OS implementation specifically meant for the 9 Pro. Both of these phones also have curved curved displays. I don't know how you guys feel about curved displays, but give me a flat display any day of the week. I honestly prefer a flat display. Even though OnePlus has great touch prevention software, I still experience those annoying accidental touches. However, on the 9 Pro, the curved edges are done just right. It's aesthetically still pleasing to look at, all while it's more practical for everyday usage since the curve now are pushed more towards the edges. Both of these phones also use optical in-display fingerprint scanners. The 9 Pro's fingerprint scanner is placed near the bottom of the screen. It was a bit awkward to get used to, but over time I quickly got used to it. I wouldn't say one is faster than the other. Both of them have been fast and reliable even when my fingers are wet. Now let's do some display tests in a dark environment between these two phones and see if we can notice any green tint, black bar, or black crush issues. I got the OnePlus 9 Pro on the left and the 8 Pro on the right. We are in a dimly lit environment and both of the brightness on these phones are turned up to 100%. I am using a nice gray background, so any display issues will be easily identifiable. So as you guys can see, at 100%, I'm not noticing anything out of the ordinary. Now let's go down to 75%. Once again, there are no black bars around the hole punch notch, and I'm not seeing any green tint issues whatsoever. Now we are sitting at 50% brightness, and the screen seems to be just fine on the 9 Pro. Let's make our way down to 25%. Once again, I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. OnePlus seems to have nailed the display this year. Just to further prove this test, let's bring down both devices to 0%. And once again, we can see that the 9 Pro is holding up just fine. I don't notice any black bars or any green tint issues for that matter. So that is very good to see. A lot of Reddit forums use this YouTube video in order to test for black crush. To test for black crush, all you have to do is slide the brightness up or down and see if the display has any black crush abnormalities, like any weird shades of purple or pink. At 0% brightness, the bottom row is visible, and as you increase the brightness, the other rows start to light up. I don't notice any flickering throughout the test, and the blacks look fantastic. So this display on the OnePlus 9 Pro passes my display test with flying colors. Now, it's too early to make any judgments regarding burn-in. Burn-in wasn't really a big problem on the 8 Pro. Some people did experience burn-in, but I've noticed for the most part the more prominent display issues were regarding the green tint and black bars around the notch. So yeah, OnePlus has made a significant stride towards improving their displays in just 1 year. Hopefully a lot more people this time around have a better display experience, because this is not a cheap phone anymore. So OnePlus better deliver this year. There are no more room for excuses. If you're still undecided between purchasing the OnePlus 8 Pro or the OnePlus 9 Pro, I will leave you guys with my OnePlus 8 Pro review in 2021. You guys can check it out right here. Make sure you guys check out that video because there is some valuable information in there for you guys which you may find helpful. Also, of course, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. There is a ton of OnePlus content coming up, so make sure you turn on that bell and click that red button. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to flex with your superior display tech.